All right. I'd like to start out by saying Barakatay Hawa, Ba'ashem Yahushai, Ba'ashem Racha Kodash. Saying Barakatay Hawa. Welcome to another live lesson. The name of this one is The Fence. And this pretty much comes through inspiration of a video I was watching, the live feed. The brothers down in South Carolina, Elder Manad Zagba and the other two brothers that you see with him. Salaki, I don't know the brothers' names. And they were going into, just different things and speaking about Jake and different things in general. And before I actually get into the reason for the title, The Fence, I want to say, I'm not sure which brother it was. It was one of the two brothers, either the one with the headband on or the other brother with the blue garment. And this is something I've been meditating and thinking about for the last couple of days, maybe the last week or so. And he said the Passover's coming, and and the sifting, something along those lines. And I've been meditating on that because every year, that happens. Before the Passover, during the Passover, and after the Passover, you have individuals that bug out, and end up pretty much being revealed and end up getting either kicked out or leaving, for something that happened, something in the doctrine, that they get offended about, and they end up leaving. And when he said that, I said that's a spirit, because that's what I've been meditating on. Like I say, either the last couple of days or the last week or so, just been meditating on that. And the brother said that. And then they started going into, I'm not sure if it was, I think it was after what we're about to listen to, that Elder Manat Zagba said concerning an individual that left a comment based off of the sister's vision that she had of the kingdom. And this just goes to show you that a lot of people out there that are watching are just watching for entertainment. They really don't believe in this. This is just a pastime to them, something to do, entertainment to most. And they're not looking at this seriousness of the message that's being taught, and when I play this, you'll understand what I'm saying. I didn't go to the actual video he spoke of, because I'm not sure what video it is. It's a individual that left about 2 paragraphs long, as he was explaining on here about how that vision that the sister had cannot be of the Most High, because so and so and this and that. He had his discrepancies about the vision. Now, mind you, as the elder is going to break down, that this was a vision she had prior to her coming into being an Israelite. So she only knew back then what she knew. I'm sure she had her thoughts and her opinions and different things of against Esau, and certain things that they've done, and the history of slavery and different things of that nature, that the Lord used to give her that vision. But when that vision was given and she committed it to video, and that one individual that's been watching, commenting, I'm sure he puts positive comments and scriptures and all that, then all of a sudden he just bugged out, which goes into, like the brother said, the Passover's coming up and the sifting, it begins. All right, so let's listen to what the Elder Manat Zagba said. I'm going to try to play it twice, but this is it's still an ongoing live feed, so I'm going to try to see if I can get it back to the actual, once we listen to it, try to bring it back, in case you want to listen to it again. But let's listen real close.
We know how you Jakes get down, man. Every region, you down there in Louisiana, them big ass crawfish and prawns down here. Mama cook chitlins and rice. Everybody, ooh, your mama cook chitlins, nigga, brother. Next door.
deliver the godly out of temptations.
Right. What else?
And to reserve the unjust until the day of judgment to be punished.
Right. You guys start bugging out.
Right here we go.
The Lord is he just freezing them where they are. When bug outs come, because one dude bug out on the vision. Right. The sister had the vision about the kingdom. Jake came and left 2 paragraphs. I don't think this vision was from God. Because the sister said that the Edomites was behind a fence. Right? They couldn't come into the city. Jake went over this. She didn't say they was in slavery. Well, she didn't really understand the full vision what she saw. She said she started before she came into the truth. That gate, that fence, they might have been locked in the cage. You done bugged out over that. And then he also said when she said that when the Moabites or whoever it was would bow down at the feet of the Israelites, that they knew it was on 1 or 2 reasons why we was coming to sin. We was either going to bless them or we was going to correct them. He said, well, we wouldn't be blessing the Moabites. You too dumb to realize. After 1,000 years, the nation's going to be let out of captivity. And they are going to be blessed on some level. They're going to get their land back. They're going to have to follow the law. They're going to worship the Heavenly Father. And they're going to be tributaries unto the Israelites. So, yeah, we will bless other nations after the first 1,000 years, you dumbass.
Yeah, so pretty much that's the truth, So he's saying because the sister had a vision that the Edomites were behind the fence and not in the kingdom, that didn't mean that they were. She didn't say they weren't in slavery. This is the simplicity of Jake out here, It's like they want every little detail to be explained every single time in order for them to believe. Yahushua said, blessed is them that have not seen and yet believe. Now, be it as it may, that's why I called it the fence, because, the Edomites were, behind the fence. And then he's saying that doesn't represent slavery. Look, man, Esau and the other nations are going into captivity, bottom line. And Esau has no part in the kingdom of heaven whatsoever. He will get no blessing whatsoever. His whole job for being born is to suffer, to be the wicked, pretty much. So before we read that, let's go to Proverbs chapter 16 and verse 4. It says, the Lord hath made all things for himself. So the Lord is making everything that he does for himself, for his purpose, for his pleasure. Yea, even the wicked for the day of evil. So Esau was created for the day of evil, even wicked Israelites and wicked among the nations. But the wicked, which are the Edomites, they are made specifically for the day of evil. They were tailor-made for that position. And when the destruction comes, when the destruction comes, they will be the ones that survive, will be the first ones to taste of slavery. And they will have a hardcore slavery. As you have done, it shall be done unto you. This is Romans chapter 9, verse 22. It says, what if the Most High, willing to show his wrath and to make his power known, endured with much long suffering the vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. So you were tailor-made. You were vessels of wrath fitted to destruction. So your whole purpose of being born was to be the wicked, to seal your fate, to be destroyed. Bottom line. And the fence is a representation of, I thought of 2 scriptures. I thought of the one in Revelation, but let me get this other one so I don't forget. I thought about the one in Revelation, which we're going to get. Revelation 11 and 1. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod. What is a reed and a rod? This is a measuring stick, right? And the angel stood saying, rise and measure the temple. So who is the temple? The temple is the nation of Israel. 1 Corinthians 3:16, you are the temple of the Most High. 2 Corinthians 6, I believe. No. 1 Corinthians 6, I believe there's another one that you are the temple of the Lord and you are not your own. So the Lord told the angel said to stand and rise with this measuring stick and measure the temple of the Most High, which the temple of the Most High, who? The Israelites. You go to Isaiah, the 19th chapter, it speaks about the different altars. This is the people of the Most High worshiping, being back in their rightful minds. We being back in our true power, true essence, right? It says, and the altar because the altar is what? The where the worshiping goes on, and them that worship therein. So now before we're gonna read this again, but I want to go to the book of Romans, the 9th chapter. A precept came to mind. Romans 9, which we were just in. Romans 9. And let's go to the 4th verse. It says, who are Israelites, to whom pertaineth the adoption. What is the adoption? The adoption is Yahushua dying on the cross, adopting the nation of Israel, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, back to the Father, Yahweh. All right? The reconciliation, the gospel of reconciliation, adopting us back to the Father because we were orphans, and Yahushua's blood adopted us back to the Father. And the glory. What is the glory? So the adoption, which is the reconciliation, the death of Yahushua on the cross to redeem us back to the Father, only belongs to who? The Israelites. And the glory. What is the glory? The kingdom of heaven. Matter of fact, another precept came to mind. Let me grab that. It says the glory is what? The kingdom of heaven. Right? Who does that pertain to? The Israelites. It says, and the covenants. What are the covenants? The covenants of the promise that were given to Abraham. And any other covenant that was given. But the main covenant was what? The covenant of the promise. Which pertained to who? The Israelites. Because the Most High have not dealt so with any other nation. And the giving of the law. Who was the law given to? The Israelites. It says, and the service of the Most High. What is the service of the Most High? What the priests would perform, which was the cult that the priests would perform. The different sacrifices and the different services that were provided when Jake went off to appease the Most High, whether it was a peace offering or free will offering or whatever the case was. So that service belongs to who? The service of the Most High belongs to who? To the Israelites. So when it says here in Revelation 11:1, and there was given me a reed like unto a rod, which is what? A measuring stick, which is what? The scriptures. Before we read on, let's go real quick to Micah, chapter 6. And I believe it's 9. The Lord's voice crieth unto the city by what? By the prophets. From what? From his word, the scriptures, the Bible, the law. And the man of wisdom shall see thy name, because only the elect will be able to get this. Hear ye the rod, and who hath appointed it? What is the rod? The correction. That comes from where? From this word. A wise man will hear, will be corrected. You will reprove a wise man, and he will love thee. So hear ye the rod, the measurement of correction, and who hath appointed it, which is Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. So the rod is the measuring stick, which is the scriptures, which are being taught out here. And there was given me a reed like unto a rod, and the angel stood saying, rise and measure the temple of the Most High. Teach. Give out the measure to them. Teach them. And the altar, which is what? Where the worshiping would happen. And what happened? This is only given to who? To the Israelites. And them that worship therein. So this is talking about in the kingdom of heaven. Only the Israelites are going to be in the kingdom of heaven that will benefit from the kingdom of heaven. The other nations will go into captivity. But after 1,000 years, they will have a certain amount of freedom and a certain amount of ability to come and go as they please, so to speak. But not as they please as far as do whatever they want to do, but they will be under subservience. They will be tributaries to the nation of Israel. It says, but the court which is without the temple leave out, and measure it not. So don't measure that. Don't teach that. Don't even worry about that. Why? For it is given unto the Gentiles. Now this is talking about the actual nations. It is given unto the Gentiles, and the holy city shall they tread underfoot 40 and 2 months. So pretty much this is the end of it right here. So the court that is without, leave it, and don't measure it, don't teach it, for it is given unto the Gentiles, to the nations. So this is the kingdom of heaven. So why is that? Because they have no part in this thing. The only part they have to play is a part of captivity. But the reason why this whole situation happened with that vision and this individual that's supposed to be, that was supposed to be following the teachings of the Hebrew Israelites, namely great millstone, what happened? He got offended. Yahweh said, blessed is he that is not offended in me. Now, when we go to Luke, the second, not Luke 16. Oh, matter of fact, yes, because that goes hand in hand with the fence. All right, measure it now. Before I even go there, let's go here. Luke chapter 16, verse 26. This is the parable of Lazarus and the rich man. And besides all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed. See, there's a great fence. There's a great divide. So that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, and neither can they pass to us that will come from thence. Yeah, because there's a separation. That's what we read in Revelation 11, that this particular temple, this court that is without the temple, outside of the temple, leave out and don't measure it, because it's given to the nations, because they have no part in this. Because there's that great gulf fixed, mainly with Esau. The other nations also, but after 1,000 years period, the nations will receive favors and blessings. It tells you in the book of Revelation, the 22nd chapter, that they will be blessed also. But they're not going to be blessed on the level of Israel. They're not going to have spiritual power. They're not going to be have the perfect bodies. They're not going to have the laws, statutes, commandments written in their foreheads, because we're going to have to teach them. And whenever they go off, we're going to have to knock them in the head to get them on the right path. All right, so now, so that whole situation happened with that individual about the comment that he left, being offended at the dream, saying that they ain't talking about slavery. We're not going to bless the Moabite. This guy is like, anytime there's any impending doom for Esau, these Israelites seem like they're always trying to break their back to save these devils. But then in the same breath, he's saying, well, we ain't going to bless the Moabite. Wait a minute. You just saying that don't mean that Esau's going to be in captivity, but then the blessing of the nation of the Moabites can't happen? So why didn't you have that? Why didn't you say, well, they're going into slavery? Why didn't you say Esau is going into slavery? Why exclude them from going into captivity, but then be upset because the Moabites were getting blessed in the vision? That shows you where these Jake's hearts is at. They love this goddamn devil. He's one of them individuals that was back then saying, we will have Caesar to be king over us, instead of they say that instead of Yahweh Shai. But anyway, this is why this is happening. Titus 2:6. Young men likewise exhort to be sober-minded, meaning clear-minded, clear thoughts. In all things showing thyself a pattern of good works, and these are the good works, teaching his word, being involved. This is why scriptures say, study to show thyself approved, a workman that needed not to be ashamed, rightly dividing the word of truth. It says, in doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. Yeah. So if you're teaching this word and you're in it, you're supposed to teach it to the best of your ability and make sure that there's no leaven in your doctrine. In doctrine showing uncorruptness, gravity, sincerity. Sound speech. See, these are the things that a young man is supposed to be doing. The older men too. It says that cannot be condemned. So this sound speech that cannot be condemned. Why? Because you are standing upon the premise of the scriptures and not upon your own feelings. You see, sound speech that cannot be condemned. There was another precept that came to mind, but I can't think of it right now. So sound speech that cannot be condemned, that he that is of the contrary part may be ashamed, having no evil thing to say of you. See? So anyone that's of the contrary, they're going to be ashamed. And eventually what's going to happen is those individuals that are in this, that are not a part of this, are going to be weeded out. They're going to be moved right out the way. This is what Simeon, the old man, told Joseph and his mother concerning Yahweh Shai, Luke 2:33. And Joseph and his mother marveled at those things which were spoken of him, dealing with Yahweh Shai. He's going to be right here. And Simeon blessed them and said unto Mary, his mother, behold, this child is set for the fall and rising again of many in Israel, right? And for a sign which shall be spoken against. All right. It says, yea, a sword shall pierce through to thy own soul also. And this is the point, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. So what happened was when the sister had the vision, which was before the truth, she came to the truth, she shared the vision, and the individual that was riding with Great Millstone or Hebrew Israelites, he got offended because of the dream. So that what? So that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. So his heart was revealed of what he really had in his mind. This is why Yahushua said, out of the abundance of the heart of man, out of the abundance of the heart, man speaketh. You know, so this is why the scriptures say, be not quick. How does that go in the book of First Timothy? I think it's First Timothy, the 4th chapter. Lay hands suddenly on no man. You know, I'm not sure if it's on this channel, but the point is that lay hands suddenly on no man. That's why, you know, back in the days, you know, when we first started on YouTube back in 2007, you know, he was like happy, you know, to see brothers, you know, learning, and you know, pretty much every brother that was learning, you know, you give him praise and Lord and all that. Oh, beautiful, you know. But then after a while, you're like, man, this is no different than what took place in the walk in his truth, you know, going back to the 90s, before the internet, before, you know, YouTube and all that. It's the same thing. You had individuals come in, you had some come, and you had some go. You see? So, I'm not sure why. Okay, yeah, I was trying to look for that precept. So let's read this again. Luke 2:35, yea, a sword shall pierce through thy own soul also, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And this is why it's happening. Beautiful. The brother got it right here. Amath. 1 Timothy 5:22, lay hands suddenly on no man, neither be partakers of other men's sins, keep thyself pure. Now, what does that mean? Elder Manata Zagba put it up too. And what does that mean? That means don't be quick to give a guy a position. You know, the scriptures say what? That the trial of a man is in his speech. And this is why the Spirit has had Elder Apostle Tahar say, look, that not the membership for the camps is closed at the time. You know, new members can't come in. Now, there have been some brothers that were coming prior to that decree. You know, for lack of better words, I can't think of another word. You know, before the Apostle Tahar said that, and they were coming, they were in good standing. You know, and eventually some of them crossed over. There's still some that's on the other side that have been coming for a while. And the Spirit's been having certain brothers, you know, cross over here and there, you know, that are in good standing. But for the most part, new membership is out, because you have nothing more than infiltrators. You know, you have spies. You know, you have, you know, bug outs. Bottom line, that stumble themselves across these videos and they start to, you know, teach some bugged out stuff, and then eventually, after you know, they'll have part of the doctrine, and then part of their own nonsense. You know, beautiful. That's a good one, brother. Oh man, let me read this one. I'll read the other one. 1 John 4:1. Beloved, believe not every spirit, but try the spirit whether they are of the Most High, because many false prophets are gone out into the world, and this is why you can't be hasty to credit somebody right away. This is a very good one. Ecclesiasticus 6:7. If thou wouldest get a friend, prove him first, and be not hasty to credit him. Yeah. So you have to prove individuals. They have to be proven first. You know? This is a good one here. It says, Colossians 3:8, but now ye also put off all these: anger, wrath, malice, blasphemy, filthy communications out of your mouth, which is dealing with those different philosophies outside of the scriptures. All right, so let's get back. Let's see. Ecclesiasticus 5:8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion, and will not abide in the day of thy trouble. Yeah. So the guy's got offended. He got offended. Sirach 11:29. Bring not every man into thine house, for the deceitful man hath many trains. Yeah, that's right. Many trains, man. It says, for some man Ecclesiastes 6 and 8. For some man is a friend for his own occasion and will not abide in the day of trouble. Yep. And we read that. We just read that. I guess that's 2 spots. All right, so let's go now. Let's read this again. Luke 2:35. Yea, a sword shall pierce through thine own soul, that the thoughts of many hearts may be revealed. And this is what's happening. The thoughts of many hearts are being revealed. The Passover is coming up, and you're gonna have individuals that's gonna be, revealed pretty much. All right. So now, based off of what he said, that Esau didn't say that they were in slavery and captivity. Well, the scriptures say all throughout the scriptures it speaks about Esau going into captivity. Let's go real quick to Revelation, the 13th chapter. Now all of a sudden this thing is acting up. That's all right. This is a prince of the power of the air, Hey, sometimes you're gonna fight an uphill battle. Sometimes it's gonna be smooth sailing. Sometimes your thoughts are gonna be clear, super clear, and sometimes they're gonna have all type of ruckus going on in your brain, trying to what's the word I'm looking for? Discourage you or discourage us from doing a lesson, and things of that nature. But that's, as it says in the Apocrypha, Ezra, this is the condition of the battle. We battle not against flesh and blood, but against spiritual wickedness in high places. We've battling against the prince of the power of the air. So, we're at the mercies of Yahweh B'Shem Yahushai, and we're navigating in a wicked world with a righteous message, and it's not always going to go smoothly because the powers that are ruling, the forces, are evil, and they don't want the righteous message out. But it is what it is. All right, so Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. Here is the patience of the faith and the faith of the saints. So what does this mean? What is captivity? Captivity is slavery. So if you led somebody into captivity, into slavery, shall go into captivity, meaning you're going to go. You did it. You did the crime. Now you're going to have to do the time. You put us in slavery and captivity, you're going to go into slavery, into captivity. The dream that the sister had the vision could have just meant that they're going to be outside of the temple, as we read in Revelation 11. But they're still going to go into captivity. They're still going to go into slavery. We read in here, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Did they not lead us into captivity? Have they been in captivity? The answer is yes, they led us into captivity, and no, they haven't gone into captivity, into slavery. He that doeth wrong shall receive for the wrong which ye have done. You reap what you sow. There's all kind of scriptures on it. But you know what? Individuals out there, when they start to be disenchanted, it's not enough for them to say, you know what, this is too much for me. I can't deal with it. I don't believe this anymore. Let me just leave. No, what they have to do is they have to find some type of fault in their mind with the doctrine so that it could make them feel better about leaving. Oh, I'm glad I'm gone from that cult. Yeah, I knew that something was wrong with it. No, it ain't that. It's that because the word cult just simply means worship. It's that the wisdom, that sack of wisdom was too hard for you to carry. It was too heavy for you to carry. And you didn't want to carry it anymore. You got offended behind it. It was too much trouble. So you couldn't wait to just drop it off, but you were looking for an excuse so that you wouldn't feel bad about dropping wisdom off and just moving on to something else. And these same individuals are going to get caught up. They're going to take the mark of the beast. They're going to take that microchip. They're going to assimilate into society. They're going to try to make their life better for themselves. And guess what? Eventually, you're going to be put to death. And that's the bottom line. So it goes on to say, he that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. That's plain. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword. So did not they kill us with the sword? You goddamn right they killed us with the sword. So what's going to happen to them? They're going to be killed by the sword. Here is the patience and the faith of the saints. Obviously, he doesn't have patience. Obviously, he doesn't believe because he's not waiting for this. He's not waiting to get his captors and his slave masters and his whatever the case is, his killers, his murderers, into captivity, into the same position that they put him into. Because he's not a wise man. Beautiful. Some priestess brothers putting up Isaiah 14:2, and the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord for servants and handmaids. That's dealing with all nations, beginning with Esau. It says, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors. What is so hard to understand about that? You know? And this guy, you know, just because of a vision that the sister had that doesn't compute with his thoughts, his beliefs, you know, now all of a sudden, oh, this ain't, you know, that's not of the Most High. This, you know, so he got offended. Blessed is he that's not offended in me. Bottom line. Beautiful. This is a good one. Ecclesiastes 2:14. Woe unto you that have lost patience, and what will you do when the Lord shall visit you? That's right. You know, you have brothers out there that's, you know, losing it. You know, not holding on to the truth. You know, they're getting weak. You know, and it happens to everybody. Everybody has their strong days. They have their weak days. They have their days when they're on fire. They have their days when they're not on fire. You know, but the bottom line is this is a fight. The Apostle Paul spoke about fighting that good fight of faith. You know, so if you're fighting a fight, it ain't gonna always go your way. That's why it's called a fight. That's why we're contending in this. This is a beautiful one. Exodus 21:16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death. So it doesn't make any sense that this guy, but then again it does, because the Lord ain't choose him. Because if he was of us, no doubt he would have continued with us. You know, man, brothers are lighting the comment board up so much I can't even find that comment that I just highlighted. All right, no biggie. No biggie. Just move on. Let's see what else we got. This is beautiful. You know what? I'm gonna read this one because I had this one on. I had just pulled this one up, but the Spirit got it out now. So let's go. Psalms 149:5-7. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. What is the glory? That is the kingdom of heaven. Who are the saints? The Israelites. So only the Israelites are going to be joyful in glory. Because the first 1,000 years is going to be hell on these nations. But then after the 1,000 years, when Esau is rounded up, burnt up to a crisp, the other nations will get their lands back, and they will be able to have, you know, to enjoy their land, but they will still be tributary to us. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Why? Because we're gonna be happy that we no longer have to get up in the morning to go to work, or we no longer have to deal with this bullshit ass world with the madness that they're pushing out day by day. You know, with disease and sickness and all of that. With, man, just the negative thoughts, just everything. The bad food, the bad air. You know, just the bad aura of this world, period. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, which is what? The truth. And a two-edged sword in their hand, which is what? A killing instrument. To execute vengeance. Let's see if... Yeah, so many comments going up that I guess the brother didn't get a chance to put the rest. So it says to execute vengeance upon the people and punishments, or execute vengeance upon the heathen and punishments upon the people. And that's what's going to happen. You know? Okay, see. Here we go. Yep, this is another one I had on the list, but hey, let's go. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity, and they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. That's right. And matter of fact, since we read that one, let's go real quick to Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled. See? So did not Esau spoil Jacob and the nations? Woe, destruction to thee that spoilest, and thou wast not spoiled. Nobody spoiled you, but you spoiled everybody else. So guess what? Destruction unto you. And dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. Yeah. You dealt treacherously with the whole entire world, especially the children of Israel. And the Lord said that he has a controversy. You know, the controversy of Zion is what you, Esau, and the other nations did to us. You know, the Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native American Indians, or wherever the Israelites are scattered abroad and whatever they look like. As long as their line goes back to Jacob, to one of the tribes of the nation of Israel, they are Israelites. And those of you that can't get that, then you're going to fall out. It says, when thou, because you got a lot of phonies out there too. You got a lot of phonies that watch, that comment, and that act like they down for the cause. And that the thoughts of many hearts shall be revealed. Just like the video that the brothers put up, this live stream. That individual, I'm sure he was making positive comments, putting in scriptures and all that. And all of a sudden that happened and boom, he's gone. And that's going to happen more. So it says, woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled, and dealest treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee. When thou shalt cease to spoil, see, you're at the point now that you're about to cease to spoil, because you got the whole world in your hand. You got all the riches, pretty much. So you're almost at the point where you're about to just sit back, kick back, relax, and enjoy the fruits, the demonic fruits of your venture. But guess what? When you do that, then the Lord is going to rain hell upon you. And that's when your whole shit is going to crumble. When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled. And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee. That's right. Did we read Jeremiah 30:16? Yeah, I read it off the comment, but let's read it again. Jeremiah 30:16. Therefore all that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. So this guy, because the dream, the sister didn't say, well, the Edomites were in captivity. They had yokes of iron on their neck. They were getting beaten. Just because she said they were behind a fence, and all of a sudden, nope, that's not a vision from the Most High. And now he's bugged out somewhere, But we read in Revelation 11 that the court that is without leave out, for it is given to the nations. And the nations are going to get blessings after they serve their captivity. Like I said, read Revelation, the 22nd chapter. Let's read that again. Therefore all they that devour thee shall be devoured, and all thine adversaries, every one of them, shall go into captivity. And they that spoil thee shall be a spoil, and all that prey upon thee will I give for a prey. See? For I will restore health unto thee, and I will heal thee of thy wounds, saith the Lord, Yahweh Shemel Shai, because they called thee an outcast, saying, this is Zion, whom no man seeketh after. So what's going to happen? The Lord is going to, as it says here, restoration of Jacob. The Lord is going to restore Jacob. He's going to restore us back to health. And he's going to get, that's heavy. This is the next precept. That's beautiful. Matter of fact, let me pull it up. Hey, show you how the Spirit works. Isaiah chapter 60. I start at 12. Matter of fact, nope. I start at 9. Surely the isles shall wait for me, and the ships of Tarshish first, to bring thy sons from far, their silver and their gold with them, unto the name of the Lord Yahweh Shemel Shai, thy power. Yeah, because our sons and daughters that are around the world, they're going to be brought to us by these heathens, and to the Holy One of Israel. And these so-called, top leaders and queens and kings and international banking families, that are considered the elite of this nation, of this world, they're going to be nursing our children. They're going to be taking care of them. They're going to be the new mammies and the new Uncle Benzes and all that. So you could understand. And to the Holy One of Israel, because he hath glorified thee. It says, and the sons of strangers, that's dealing with the other nations, shall build up thy walls. So if they're going to build up our walls, what does that mean? That means they're going to be in captivity and slavery. They're going to be tributary to us. And their kings, see, their kings, meaning their top, their so-called elite, and their kings shall minister unto thee. What does it mean to be a minister? It means to be a servant. So they're going to be servants. Matter of fact, hold it now. What is that? Is that Isaiah? Is that Isaiah 42? No, 49. Isaiah 49 and 22. Thus saith the Lord power, behold, I will lift up mine hand to the Gentiles and set my standard to the people. And they shall bring thy sons in their arms, and thy daughters shall be carried upon their shoulders. Yeah, because they're going to be tributaries. And kings shall be thy nursing fathers, and their queens thy nursing mothers. They shall bow down to thee with their face toward the earth, and lick up the dust of thy feet. What's that? What's that? Sound like slavery to me. That sounds like slavery to me. And thou shalt know that I am the Lord, for they shall not be ashamed that wait for me. Shall the prey be taken from the mighty, or the lawful captive delivered? That's why it says, the captive exile hasteneth that he may be loosed. So Isaiah 60 and 10, and the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee, for in my wrath I smote thee. So the reason why we went into captivity was because the Most High kicked us in the ass because we pissed him off. That goes to Isaiah 42. Isaiah 42 and 24. Who gave Jacob for a spoil and Israel to the robbers? Did not the Lord Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, he against whom we have sinned? For they would not walk in his ways, neither were they obedient unto his law. Therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger. So what you see Esau and these nations doing, this is the fury of the Lord's anger. When you see these so-called troops that are about to do their shit, in this time, that's the fury of the Lord upon these heathens to do what the Lord wants them to do, because this is the vengeance of the Lord. This is the punishments that he's bringing upon the people of this world. And another thing the brother said, one of the brothers, I don't remember who it was, they had said that that I had mentioned about the population of the world, because the Lord is bringing a lot of people for judgment. Yeah, this is something that Spirit revealed to me years ago, dealing with the population, because in 1826, if I'm not mistaken, the population of the earth was 1 billion. Then not too long after that, it was 2 billion. I think it took about another 100 years, I think, to build up to 2 billion. And then from the early 1900s until now, there's been like almost 6 million people. 6 billion people upon the face of the earth, because right now the population of the world is almost 8 billion people, and I never forget that the Spirit had tapped me in the head with that, and this is before I even knew. I didn't know the whole scenario. The Spirit just had me type in world population, and I found out that in 1826, I believe you can find that on Wikipedia, in 1826 the population of the world was 1 billion people, and then about 100 years later, it grew to 2 billion. And then from around the early 1900s, like 1920 something around there, till now, there's been about almost 6 billion people on the earth. And you can see it, 7,846,111,545, 46, 47, 48, 49, 50. See? So it says, therefore he hath poured upon him the fury of his anger and the strength of battle, and it hath set him on fire round about. And that's why we caught hell like we did. The Lord set that fire around us and hedged us in to where we couldn't get out. There was nothing we could do. Just like Esau a seal was set upon him, there was nothing he could do for that 1,000-year period. Yet he knew not, and burned him, yet he laid it not to heart. Yeah, because even to this day, when Jake goes through things, they don't really consider why they're going through what they're going through. That's Isaiah, the 1st chapter. They don't understand why they're in the condition that they're in, why they're suffering, the way that they're suffering, why they've suffered what they've suffered before, prior to this. And all of these people that are here now were here during slavery. You know, going back to the beginning of the bringing in of the captivity of Judah, Benjamin, and Levi. You know, and then prior to that, all of the when the so-called Spaniards came over here, you know, the so-called Latin tribes, they were here, you know, and they've been coming back, and they're a lot. And a lot of them don't know what the fuck is going on, you know, because a lot of them think that they're white. They think that they're Edomites. Some of them are, some of them are not. See, people equate Edomite with just looking like a so-called white person. You got a whole lot of Edomites out there that are dark skinned with woolly hair, you know. That's why there's gonna be a great sifting. And the Lord is gonna send the angels to do the sifting. You know, and that ignorance is gonna be put down. You know, just because you look like a so-called white person, you're an Edomite. That's total ignorance. And just because you look like a so-called black man or black woman, that you're an Israelite. That's complete ignorance. You see? And this is what's happened to the world. Now, are the so-called Negroes Israelites? Of course. They're from the tribe of Judah. Some from the tribe of Benjamin, some from the tribe of Levi, so on and so forth. You know? Oh, what's going on over here? Yep. That's right. I thought you were getting at somebody. Georgia Guidestone population about 500 million people. That's right, and that's what they want. They want 500 million people in, as they say, in perpetual balance with nature. Now, who the fuck gave them the authority to do that? Oh well. What is this guy talking about? Guilty of thinking that facts. What? I don't understand what this guy means. What do you mean by that? All right, so now let's go back to Isaiah. Yeah, that's a good one right there. Oops. Right. 1 Samuel 16:7. But the Lord said unto Samuel, look not on his countenance or on the height of his stature, because I have refused him. For the Lord seeth not as man seeth, for man looketh on the outward appearance, but the Lord looketh on the heart. That's right. That's right. And shalom to the, elders and Akim, Akwath. So let's go back to Isaiah 60 and let's read 10 again. And the sons of strangers shall build up thy walls, and their kings shall minister unto thee. For in my wrath I smote thee, but in my favor have I had mercy on thee. Yep. Agenda 21. That's right. Agenda 21. But in my favor have I had mercy on thee. And this is what it's all about. It's about the depopulation of the earth. See, but when you speak like that, they call you a conspiracy theorist. But it's out there in plain sight. I was just watching. There's another, I guess, season 2 of Utopia is up, and I was watching the first one, and pretty much they're using that jab, to suppress, in the what you call it, in the series, to suppress people from being able to conceive. They're changing people's DNA with it. They're just coming all out with it. It says, therefore thy gate shall be open continually, they shall not be shut day nor night, that men may bring unto thee the forces of the Gentiles. That's talking about their riches, and that their kings may be brought. Yeah, because their kings are going to be the first ones to taste of slavery. Matter of fact, we can close out with that. which I had here. We can close out with that, but let's finish up here. It says, for the nation and kingdom that will not serve thee shall perish, yea, those nations shall be utterly wasted. Yeah, because if they don't bow down, they're going to be destroyed. You know? It says, the glory of Lebanon shall come unto thee, the fir tree and the pine tree and the box together to beautify the place of my sanctuary, and I will make the place of my feet glorious. Yeah, because the Lord is going to restore the earth. He's going to renew the earth. He's going to, beautify it again. Like the scriptures say, this land that was a wilderness shall be as a Garden of Eden. So many words. I believe that's in the book of Ezekiel, the 36th chapter. It says, the sons also of them that afflicted thee shall come bending unto thee. So this sounds to me like slavery, submission. And all they that despise thee shall bow themselves down at the soles of thy feet. Yeah, this includes, this is everybody that despises the people of the Lord. They're going to be bowing down, at the soles of our feet. And they shall call thee the city of the Lord, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai, the Zion of the Holy One of Israel, wherein thou hast been forsaken and hated, so that no man went through thee. I will make thee an eternal excellency, a joy of many generations. Thou shalt also suck the milk of the Gentiles, and shalt suck the breasts of kings, meaning their riches. Their riches are going to be taken from them. And thou shalt know that I, the Lord, am thy Savior, and thy Redeemer, the mighty one of Jacob. Yeah, because Jacob's not going to stay upon Esau, the other nations, and them different idols and them different religions that they were staying upon. They're going to come to the Lord in truth in the kingdom of heaven. It says, for brass I will bring gold, and for iron I will bring silver, and for wood, brass, and for stones, iron. I will also make thy officers peace, and thine exactors righteousness. Yeah, because the kingdom is going to be beautiful. Violence shall no more be heard in thy land, wasting nor destruction within thy borders, but thou shalt call thy walls salvation, and thy gates praise. That's right. And this is a good one the brother just put up. This is Zechariah 14:17. And it shall be that whosoever will not come up of all the families of the earth unto Jerusalem to worship the King, the Lord of hosts, even to them shall be no rain. Yeah, so they won't be able to get any blessings. So the scriptures speak about the nations in the kingdom. They will get blessings, but they're going to have to follow along, with the protocol. They're going to have to be in tribute. They're going to have to be in submission. Right. And it goes on to say, and if the family of Egypt go not up and come not, that have no rain, there shall be the plague wherewith the Lord will smite the heathen that come not up to keep the feast of tabernacles. All right. So let's finish out with Psalms 149 chapter, the 5th verse. Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Why? Because the Israelites are going to be the only ones that's going to benefit in the kingdom of heaven. They're going to have everything. Now, eventually the nations will get their blessings, but they have to serve out their slavery first, man, their captivity. It says, let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, which is the word, and a two-edged sword in their hand, which is a killing instrument, to execute vengeance upon the heathen. Yeah, because there's a vengeance that has to be exacted. The Most High has a controversy against these nations, and this is why he's gathering them together to pour upon them his indignation and punishments upon the people. That's right. Because there's going to be punishments that's going to be exacted. And these nations have not paid for their crimes. To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron. So the kings, which is a representation of the ruling class, they're monarchs, even though they may not be calling themselves kings, but they're in the position of kings. It says to bind their kings with chains. What are the chains? That's a representation of slavery. And their nobles, which are the ones that officiate or that run their government, with fetters of iron. What's that? That's captivity. Total captivity. It says to execute upon them the judgment written. That's right. And what is the judgment written? That these nations are going to go into captivity. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. Dishonor have all his saints praise ye the Lord. And who are the saints? The Israelites. So only the Israelites will be joyful in glory, which is the kingdom of heaven. Then after these nations serve their punishment, then they will be they'll have, you know, a portion of land they'll be able to enjoy. Revelation 22:26, and he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers, even as I received of my father. That's right. Yep, Planet of the Jakes, that's it. Planet of the Jakes. All right, hey, I know you brothers are putting up a lot of banging precepts, you know, but I think that's a good spot to end it. You know, the nations are going into captivity, and what you see in here with this individual that got offended about, you know, the vision that the sister had, you know, that dream can't be of the Most High or whatever, whoop-de-woo, whatever. You know, you go watch the brother's video here, Gospel of the Kingdom, on the Elder Menat Zakbas channel, GMS Bible Teacher SC7. Matter of fact, I'll copy the link. And they're pretty much, you know, worrying about trivial things instead of focusing on the bigger picture, you know. But hey, whatever it is, what it is, you know, everyone has to be approved. Remember, one of the scriptures we read is that the hearts of many may be revealed, you know. So we're in that time now where the hearts of many are being revealed, and they're being brought out, you know, and they're being exposed, because at the end of the day, whoever's not a part of this is not going to make it through. Whoever's a part of this is going to make it through, you know. I mean, it seems harsh, but this is the plans of the Most High, Yahweh Bashem Yahushai. You know, so it is what it is. So with that, I pray that you brothers have been edified. To the next time I say, Shalom.